Okay, it looks like it's gonna record again. So yeah, I was saying that it doesn't make any sense that these people, this woman thinks I'm going to sit here in silence and do nothing because I did that last year. Because I remember I had gone to the church, I spoke to the pastor, and he said it was too late. So I'm thinking, okay, well, any minute. Wasn't even too late. Nothing had even started yet. At that point, she only had the forehead stone and whatever was at the back of my head. Didn't have everything that was plucked and picked apart. She didn't have any of that yet. So it was definitely not too late. Nothing had even really started yet. And I'm thinking at any minute, as these things are going, that I'm going to drop. Who knew that I had all that stuff spread out all over my body? And now she's expecting me to just sit while she yanks my spirit out. Remember, this is the same person that told me that she cleaned her family line and has the spirits of her dead ancestors guarding her. I don't know her from anywhere. You're nobody to me. Why should you be allowed to kill me as a human being? I'm walking around, I'm breathing, I'm eating, I'm doing all the things that you do. Why should I give my life to go serve you? How does that make any sense to a rational human being? This is somebody who's trying to take my spirit, like she did with her ancestors, to guard her. Don't know this woman from nowhere. Not related to her. Don't owe her anything. What about my family, my ancestors, my life? I'm not a human being. Where does it say when I was born, okay, at 44, you're going to have to give up your life to go guard a human being? See, that's what doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, those are your ancestors. They were dead before. I'm a live person. You are trying to fish my spirit out of my body to guard you. Guard you from what? From what? What rational, sane human being is going around that's living right, going around needing to be guarded? Guard from what? From what? That's what doesn't make any sense to me. I'm supposed to sit here in silence like the good little victim and wait for this last piece to go. No, absolutely not. I said, as of today, I will scream it from the rooftops. I don't care who say crazy this or crazy that. All of this can be proved. But yet, she's doing all of this and doing all of that with the laptop, with this, yanking and pulling at whatever is going on. Everything is just doesn't make any sense. Think about it. Does not make any sense. You want to take the spirit from a live person. A live person who you don't know. I lived, 42 years before I met this woman? 42 years. Okay, what about my family? My parents, my grandparents, my ancestors. My black ancestors. Mind you, I am not Hispanic. And it doesn't come down to race. What about my people? What about my life? Why should I have to give up my life to serve you in your demonic practice. And now when I'm speaking about it, oh, it's a problem now. That this sick little secret is about to come out. Oh no, I'm supposed to sit here again and be the good little victim while you show off. You know, because these two had the audacity. They have in my body both butt cheeks, one on the left, one on the right. Whenever they score, they ring it. Yeah, bitch, we got another one. Ring it. All these months, whenever they got one, ring it. I mean, if people really knew how sick this little game has been, to have a human being, I'm not an animal, to have a human being, and just because you're getting away with it, and just because you hate the light, because you're in the dark, you've taken something that was of light, turned it into darkness, and you're getting away with it. And yet the same person who the light belonged to in the first place, that is the person that you're showing out against. You know, because I remember when her spirit took over my body at Montrose, and one of the other veterans was saying, okay, who are you? And the phrase that came out of my mouth was, Jennifer Pastor's bitch. There I am, somebody who's saved and serving God. And when her demon took over my body, that's the phrase that comes out of my mouth. So I don't know what kind of entitlement this woman has to my life. You see what I'm saying? That's what I don't get. Her entitlement to my life. That she has authority to end my life. That's what I don't get. And I'm pretty certain of it. Because that's the way she presented to me. You know, very quiet, docile, couldn't even harm a fly. I'm sure she's still presenting like that in society. I'm sure, like, when she's teaching, if somebody was supposed to go back and look at her Zoom videos, I'm sure nobody's going to say, okay, well, that's somebody who's day and night and day for over a year trying to kill somebody. Nobody's gonna think that or believe that, or I'm doing this video right now, that she's working, trying to yank my spirit out because she's determined that she's going to kill me, and they're going to get away with it. Because where's the proof? Who knows? She lives alone. There is no evidence. There's no marks. Sick little game that this woman is playing. Sick little game. But anyways, what I was saying about Bishop. So I started listening again. And Joseph Tears. On point. And I kept on fasting and praying, and ended up going back. Got the word, okay, go back. And that was a couple Sundays ago when he preached, when he said, God had told him, it's like, the title is, We Need an Epiphany. And that sermon was everything about me, my situation, the prodigal son. And at the end needed to go back to his father. Because the only reason why I'm in this position right now, is because I stepped out of God's will. And before he started to preach, he said that God said that may be the most important sermon that he preached. I remember I flew to Dallas just for the service, just to go to church on Sunday, and then to try to get a chance to speak to him. But I didn't. Again, I didn't. And then I come back on Sunday, the following Sunday, last week, and he's preaching again. I have permission is the title of this service. And everything he's saying, and it's so to the point where from the beginning until, throughout the entire sermon, because I didn't get to see the ending live because the stream was interrupted right after he said, because he's preaching, and at one point he said something about looking out the window, and that's what I do every day. My desk is by the window. I'm always by the window talking to God. And when he said that, I had to look out the window and like, okay, how come everything that he's always preaching is always on point, even down to that phrase? So when he starts preaching about God said you have permission to take back what is yours, when he said raise your hand and claim it, and I start praying, and then he's preaching some more, your enemies are laughing. Your enemies are laughing. Like they think they've gotten away with it, but you have permission to get back what is yours. The stream was shut down just like that. I didn't even think of technical difficulties. I already know. God is giving me permission to get back all that power that she has, that they have. No, you're not gonna give that back. So the stream was just shut down, and because I know I've seen what she's capable, or what they're capable of doing with my laptop, because a lot of the energy that they use is electricity, and I've seen what they're able to send, these demonic spirits just by the internet, just by going to a website. Didn't even have to question, but I ended up watching the rebroadcast on YouTube later that evening. But my point is, just imagine you as a normal person, like you have a vendetta against somebody, and we need an epiphany. Bishop was preaching about like the type of warfare that's coming. It's going to be things that we can't see. And that's exactly what this power that this group has now. Because somebody who's not spiritually gifted is not going to be able to see anything, feel anything. None of that. But you could look at someone and release spirits onto them, and you could later use that to attack them. You could look at food in a soup. You don't even have to touch it. You remember back in the day when, if you really wanted to put something in somebody's food, you had to, and people who would even think of doing that, it had to be something like in a restaurant or open food. Imagine being able to just look at a bottle or a can of soda or anything and taint it and have that person eat it. Imagine calling somebody on the phone and you could send them demonic spirits like that. Send them a text like I got from the VA, Northport VA, from one of the nurses. And send them the demonic spirits that's going to attack them. Imagine you could go into any store where you know that person is going to shop at, and you could leave your spirits on anything. You know that they use a particular bank, like that's what happened with me, the bank that I go to. And they knew that I was going there because I had a hard time finding it, so I had to call or speaking to somebody about it by the time I got to the bank. And mind you, this is me going out of my way 2 hours, something like that, to go to a different branch. Still tainted. Imagine somebody could just paper, money. You can't see it, but it's there. This is what I'm trying to get people's attention to. When I go to NYPD, when I go to Long Island PD, this is the kind of weapon that this woman and this group have in their hands. This is no joke. Imagine you go to a store, like you live in your neighborhood, and one of them, is maybe in your neighborhood. That person doesn't have to come to your house. What happened with me once in this little small township, the store that I was going to constantly, like, would go there every morning. Whatever was there, and now because I don't have the gifting on me, in the beginning I used to be able, as soon as they hit, I could be able to tell. Now, I can't tell until I get back home and she starts picking it off of me and using it. But imagine being able to leave all those spirits, package of spirits in thin air in a store for someone, or anywhere for someone, even in thin air where they're gonna walk, or in places that I like, outside where I go this evening, coming back, walking from the train station where I go all the time, almost every day if I'm going somewhere else, take the train. Boom, attaches to the heel or anywhere else on my foot. Yesterday when I went to the library, I'm not on my laptop, but she was able, and I had to call one of the students who was working in the library, PDFs, because she's thinking, okay, well, mind you, when I say my work of 25 years, I was printing some PDFs. So, I've been talking about trying to sell some of the stuff that I've written. So she's thinking, okay, well, I'm going to the school to go sell stuff. And I'm not supposed to have anything. I had to call the student to come look at it because I couldn't believe it. I've never in my entire life pulled up a PDF, tried to print it, and the PDF just erases. About 4 of them. When I printed the documents, all the pages came up blank. I was like, how is this possible? Because when I sent them to print, the full PDFs were still there when I sent them to the printer. But then, as I open each one again, going to close them out, I see now the pages are blank. I was like, okay, there's no way. So I called one of the students over who works in the library to say, okay, have you ever seen this before? She said, absolutely not. She's never seen it before. That doesn't make sense. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to try it again with you here so you could witness this. Opened the PDF, printed the PDF, the script came out like it's supposed to. Of course, because there's somebody there watching now, but the evidence is already there. The student is there looking at the empty PDFs. Like, what happened to them? How can a PDF just erase itself like that? And all the pages come out blank. These are things that's supposed to be impossible. But with that thing in the wrong hands, it's a weapon of mass destruction. And now that she's had it for so long, because the only reason I didn't go back after it is because when she was taking it and I called the pastor, he said, let it go. Because he's of the opinion this entire time that it can't be something good. And I sent him a written document about everything that was stolen in this situation, and he didn't even reply back to it. He said, let it go. So this woman has had this thing for so long, She's drunk on power. She's not going to want to give this back. That's why she's working so hard. The only thing that's left to go is my spirit, and she's determined that she's going to take it. No matter what's in the Bible, no matter what's, none of that matters in this sick little game. And I'm supposed to just sit down and let her do it. That's the funny part. I'm supposed to just go right along with it, even though this probably never happened before in human history. I'm supposed to just be the good victim and just go along with it. I'm trying to find. Here's a document with a list of everything. And I have to hurry up and post these videos, because when I tell you everything that's going on in here right now, doesn't make any sense. I can't believe I don't have this document handy. This document should be very, very handy. I should be able to pull it up. And she has, oh, I'm telling you, this is the kind of headache. This is the kind of craziness when I tell you nobody should be able to be in somebody's life like this. I saw it earlier when I was doing the other video, but because the laptop, she keeps the laptop, even the video, she keeps freezing everything up, so I can't really keep track. Let me show you how, because the other video is still going. So what I'm trying to do is, okay, once I put the phone up, she'll release it, because now there's another camera on, basically another pair of eyes. Should have pulled this up before I started. Okay, so here's a part of the list. So found it. Okay, so it's the forehead stone, then the back of the head, then the forehead shield, the shield at the back of my head, the stone at the base of my back, the left arm stone, right palm, right arm stone, right hand stone, right arm stone, right palm stone. And then she destroyed the spiritual eye, the left eye, and the two circular object that she destroyed. And she drained my spine, and this is not in necessarily the order in which she did them. And she drained all of my back, and then she burned that, and cut a hole in the bottom of my foot, my left foot, and then drained the entire body. And then the lining of my entire body, the lining that she ripped out so hard that night, And then she drained the light from my blood and skin. And in December, when she realized that my stomach, because that was one of the things about the food, as soon I could tell it was tainted, because as soon as it went into my stomach, um, as soon as it went into my stomach, you could just feel whatever it was just bouncing and jumping all over. So she drained my stomach, and then before that, she had drained my ovaries. And then she destroyed the spiritual brain, and then she drained those, drained my physical brain. And then the bad thing is, okay, you're taking everything that's good. Mind you, I said these are not spare parts. You know, these are not extras that I had laying around. These are vital things that these are the things that made me who I am. And you took all of that. Oh, and I forgot the 3 individual, I don't even know how to describe them. I don't know if they were a part of my personality or whatever gave me the ability to write, whatever gave me the gift of dreams. But it was 3 individual ones, and they each went at separate times and in different ways, and they were shaped different, because one of them, when it came out, it was so big. It was from the front of my head to the back, like this big, like almost like a slug, and she, basically wrapped it, like whatever kind of spiritual, whatever she was using, to see her wrapping it until she took it out, just took it out. But everywhere where there was something good, she inserted a demonic spirit. Never mind all the stuff that I'm picking up that's coming from the food, that's coming from packages, or, when I go outside. Everywhere on my interior body where there was something good, she replaced with something evil, with some demonic force. Like, how is somebody even supposed to be themselves after going through all of that? And then the last thing that I have left, you're still fighting me for it and expect me to lay down and have you take it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. This is not the perfect crime anymore. It's not. It's not, because right now it's 1 a.m. and it's like this every night. Like ever since, I start saying, okay, no more. I'm starting to talk about this. 1 a.m. and she's still at it. And she's going to stay at it. It's not just her working by herself. Imagine all of that activity going on your head. And unless you go to someone spiritual, you don't have any proof. Unless you go to the church and somebody happened to pick something up, you don't have any proof. But nobody can see your pain being plucked apart, pulled apart. Like I said, this stuff is not painless. This stuff is not painless. So if somebody's gonna tell me that God allowed this, to be hurt like this for so long? And if God allowed it, why are you so afraid of it getting out? If you have permission from God to do this, you should be telling everybody. You should be able to tell everybody, like, whenever I'm going to talk about it, why are you so concerned and scared if you weren't breaking some kind of rule, if you weren't doing something wrong? Because God is not going to give somebody something for them to use and turn into a weapon to hurt other people. He's not going to do that. What is the purpose of being able to send spirits into food, or send spirits onto somebody, or to send spirits in a package? What is the use of that except to hurt another individual? God is not going to give you power to do that. God gives you power to help other people, help yourself. Not go out and try to destroy people with it in this sick, secret little way. Like, haha, look what I'm doing and nobody knows it. God is not going to give you power to do that. That's of the devil. And another thing, they have, I mean, when I say she has come up with the most, some of the sickest and most cleverest way, because whenever I say one of their names, just by saying their names, releases a spirit, a demonic spirit, just by mentioning their names. And she started doing that at Montrose, and at that time I didn't realize it was the stone, the forehead stone, that gave her the ability to do that. Certain words, whenever they come from this mouth, release the spirits that she would use. I've seen this also happen to a Montrose. Imagine this. Since my laptop is tainted, I sent a document that I need printed to one of the nurses. When it printed, okay, I know it's going to be, I'm not expecting, okay, I didn't print it from my laptop. I sent it to him to print from his computer onto paper. It was tainted. Spirits on the paper. Okay. I had the nurse forward it to another nurse in another building. See how far this one document is coming from my laptop to his laptop to another nurse. That nurse printed, because it was a final that I needed to study for. Completely tainted with the spirits that she needed to use. What purpose does that serve anybody? Except to hurt somebody else. What good is that doing anybody? So that's why I'm making this video. Because she is determined. Somebody that I met at 42 did not give me life, did not give birth to me. Somebody that I only saw in person twice, and not even for 5 minutes each time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That somebody could have the audacity. But that's how evil is. That's how evil is. So I'm making the video because if I don't make it, people are not going to know that these things are possible, or these things are going on. And I don't think that she's going to, or this group is going to have that kind of power and not use it in a bigger way. Because one of the, I mentioned the gift of dreams. And the way it worked was, if somebody was coming into my life that meant me no good, I would always get a warning dream about that person. And once I mentioned that, they just messed it up where now all I get is like nightmares. That's it. Rarely ever, some kind of like once in a while. If it's something, it has something to do with like this situation or something that I'm praying about, I'll get a dream. And in December, I had this dream that didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. It's like, that's impossible. And that doesn't make any sense. Doesn't. And then a couple weeks later, I had another dream. And then it was one of the members that I had come into contact with. And she tells me their plan. And I was completely shocked. It just made the dream that I had weeks before, it made that dream make sense. Like I said, these people and this woman with her big ego, she's not going to have this type of power to, okay, you go into a space, you see somebody working on a laptop. It could be business, it could be personal, it could be whatever. But you could just send whatever spirit. Just like you did yesterday when I went all the way to the library where I hadn't been in years and copy everything that they're working on. Do you know how dangerous that is? So she's not going to sit. I mean, one of the times when I went to church and one of the church sisters was speaking to the demon spirit that she has on my body, and what she had said is, I have her gift. This was when she only had the forehead stone, and from the back of my head, she said, I have her gift, and I'm not going to take it back. I'm going to take over the world. That's what she said. So now I completely believe that, because from what I witnessed yesterday, I wasn't even on that computer for a long time. It was a completely fresh computer, hadn't used it in however, since this has been going on. I hadn't been to that computer room, hadn't been to, campus in the longest. And to see whatever, because I had a different USB drive, immediately copied, because she's thinking, okay, there's more stuff on there to get. Immediately copied. Immediately. The greed. So this evening when I actually sat down to do this, it was because I said, okay, well, one, I'm no longer going to go along with this anymore. I'm not going along with it anymore. And two, the audacity, where I'm the one who sat down for 25 years. I'm the one who day and night and day, even though I didn't, wasn't doing that much with these scripts. I'm the one who wrote everything that I've ever written. Have never copied anything from anyone, never stolen anything from anyone. all the hours that I spent in front of the computer and laptop doing all this work, now that I'm trying to make some advances or get the work out there, she doesn't want me to do that. Excuse me? Who are you? Makes no sense. My work. But yet, I'm not supposed to benefit from it. You have a copy of everything, and you're putting it out there as your own, and you're making a profit. Yeah, because since she was able to copy my entire drive, she's sitting pretty, making all this money. But I'm not supposed to sell anything that, even though it belongs to me. I've never seen a more evil person. I've never seen such evil in my entire life. To take something for good and turn it into this kind of evil and expect to get away with it. Never. Never in my life seen something like this. That somebody is entitled. Somebody feel like they're entitled to somebody else's life. And not just their life, their spirit. Never seen anything like that. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I'm just like sitting here talking. Never. And I bet if and when this is looked into, like what I know from her end is going to be Eve and their end, because it's more than one. When I say to my, like, the people that I talk to about it, it's like I'm some kind of like experiment. I said, okay, imagine being watched 24/7. If you move an inch, and that's the way it was at Montrose, because one of the things that she does whenever she thinks that she has this my spirit and she's killed me and she's gonna leave, all the demonic spirits on me, she takes them off. Imagine going through that, 9 or 10 times or even more, and that's her MO, to take off these spirits because she think that she's killed you. Or imagine being on the surveillance 24 hours, taking a shower, going to the bathroom, everything that you do, you have at least, and it's always more than one person watching, like having you up on a camera, or not a camera, like on a TV, watching you like you're some kind of a program. Imagine all of that. And this is somebody who's walking, and I'm sure eating and doing everything else that everybody else is doing, and nobody would even think that somebody could do these kind of evils to another human being just for power. It's not like, okay, I had my gift and I put it down and I said I don't want it. You had to pick me apart for months and months and months and months and months, and make fun, because she has this one thing that she does, where she keeps smacking me on my lower lip. You have all my stuff, but yet still you're making fun of me. That's the kind of crazy. But in the document that I wrote, when I said it's a new day, it is a new day because the forehead stone, it basically gives knowledge. And I was saying to someone that just like how Morris was using it to tap into to celebrities' life, and just like how with me you could use it to see the future, she could use it to look into any celebrity life, any any life. So if she wants to know anything about any celebrity, she could just look because of the stone, because of what she's converted it to. Hmm. Yeah. It doesn't make sense, but that's the reality right now. Brand new day.